I'm Sandra Janoff. As you say, I'm a co-developer of Future Search, which are the principles and methodology for whole systems change and an approach to create integrated whole system transformation. We started this Marv Voice Board and I back in the early 90s and have had incredible outcomes around the world with almost every sector. Also co-founded the Future Search Network in 1993 that Marv and I co-directed until he retired. He did pass away in March of this year, and Michael Donnelly and I now co-direct Future Search Network and run the trainings, the Managing a Future Search training, and the partner, which is how to facilitate for whole systems change that we call P10 approach, 10 principles for leading meetings that matter. Future Search itself is a strategic planning meeting, and we believe that in order to plan with integrity and assure implementation in today's turbulent and increasingly diverse world, that you have to plan and design and facilitate with the Future Search principles. And they're very purposeful about who's present and what it is that people do. So our first principle is getting the whole system in the room. And we mean the right people who together can leave that meeting with actions that will move the whole system forward. So it's not a meeting that engages a part of the system to build better relationships. We respect that. But it is a meeting where people learn about the complexity of the system and how they need each other to accomplish their task. And in that way, they are building better relationships. Also, it's a meeting that takes a shockingly short amount of time to accomplish what people set out to do. It pushes a boundary on who's there, as I just said, not your usual people, not just a top team or not just the people impacted, but both. People with authority, people with resources, people with expertise, people with information that others don't have, and people who have to be there because they are impacted by the outcome. And in this, what I'm going to call a shockingly short amount of time, people learn from their past, understand together the impact of the forces in the world, which is very important, critically important if you're going to transform a whole system. So what are the forces in the world that are impacting us? And most importantly, what are our current responses? It's an opportunity to create and confirm an integrated future, hear me, an integrated future that is doable and that they will make happen. So not only a way forward, a direction, a goal that this diverse group of people understand after they have learned fully together, but a confirmation of this direction and a commitment to implementation. So the uniqueness of Future Search is that, I'm repeating myself, it's an approach where diverse people can discover, hear that, discover and take action on a common ground agenda. And all this happens in a very well planned and facilitated 2.5-day meeting. Oh my God, how does that happen? It does. It's been over 30 years of successes in every sector. But it's well planned. You can't facilitate yourself out of a poorly planned meeting. You have to be clear about the purpose. And if the purpose is the future of the system or the organization or the community or the issue, then this whole systems approach, which actually has 8 steps in its planning, meeting, and implementation, will get you there. I was asked once, what do you do when you don't know what to do? My answer to that is, if I don't know what to do and the right people are in the room, They know what to do. So this isn't a guessing game or a magic trick. This is about getting the right people who have a stake in the task, who need each other, who have decision making authority, who are impacted, people with resources, because people always go out surprised that the resources have come to the project, resources that had been laying there. I'm thinking about a couple particular examples, but people with information that others didn't have, so that they leave understanding the complexity of the system that they didn't understand in that way before. So, what's a success factor? Getting the right people there, not fudging it, not saying we have almost. If the conditions aren't right, I mean, this is not easy for people who want to do this kind of work, and it does push boundaries. But if we have the right people there, then it'll work. Something will work. Something constructive will work. And if we don't, why bother? And kind of put kind of this what we're doing is that the cynicism that comes from a meeting where we haven't been able to do what we wanted to do because, oh, if only that group was there, or if only we had had enough time to really plan well. So the planning is essential. The structures that we've been using for over 30 years when people are in their journey, it's a container where everybody's input is important. It's a way of working where everybody gets an opportunity to learn, to speak, to share, to take a leadership role, and to discover. And that's the most important thing. If we already know what to do and everyone's committed and out there working, fine. But if we're in the tangle, in the struggle, in the mix that we're in right now in this world that is extraordinary in its speed, and extraordinary and to our advantage diversity, but conditions that we're not used to. This is a way to work here and now to assure that together we want this future to happen, and we can make it happen. When that happens, it's extraordinary. It's hope, it's energy, it's lightness, and it's intention. It's ready to work because we're all together. And if we're not, we know that. But where we are, we know. Our common ground is known to that community of people when they leave the meeting.